Hi, we are Olvera, Pablo, Mauricio, Pato, and Guillermo, and we are going to present Mexico in the 90s. Hi, I'm Pato and I'm going to talk about politics and economy of the 90s in Mexico. The presidents in the 90s were Carlos Salinas de Gortari and Ernesto Cedillo Ponce de León. Carlos Salinas de Gortari, he was known because during his presidency there were important economic changes. Among them, the signing of the North American Free Trade Agreement, massive privatization of state enterprises, including the banking, the implementation of the National Solidarity Program, and the increase of inequality in the country. In addition, church-state relations were restored and diplomatic relations were established with the Holy See. Now, Ernesto Cedillo Ponce de León, he was known because the price of the dollar increased close to 114% from $3.40 to $8.70 between December 1994 and March 1995. The height of the crisis immediately caused bankruptcy of thousands of companies, unemployment, and many debtors were prevented from paying their debts. The Cedillo government devised the Banking Fund for the protection of saving, one to support the National Bank against the debtors. Now, there were only two political scandals. In the presidency of Carlos Salinas de Gortari, the dollar increases too much in the presidency. No, ya la cagué, eso córtalo.
Sí.
Well, there were only two political scandals, and both were in the presidency of Ernesto Cedillo Ponce de León. The first one was the dollar increasing too much, and the killing of Acteal, that consists in the killing of very indigenous people. Now, there were no wars. No. The economy in the 90s in Mexico was good, but with little problems like the increasing of the dollar. The unemployment rate was of 2.742, and shortage, there were no shortage, and the tax rate of 8 to 12.5%.
Tres. Hi, I'm Willie and I will talk you about the technology invents of the 90s. Well, one of the most important invents during the 90s were the GNU. In 1997, Miguel de Icaza Federico Mena invented the GNU Network Object Model Environment. It was a free graphical interface, intuitive and friendly, and simple to run on Linux, which emerged as an alternative for the graphic environment of the time. Another one of the greatest invents of that age was the indelible ink. This substance is impregnated in the skin and cells and removed up to 24 hours, created by the engineer Filberto Vázquez Dávila. It was first used on 1994 elections. Well, it made a great impact on Mexican people because the GNOME was one of the best platforms of that time. And as well in the indelible ink, it changed the way the elections were done, and the whole world started to use the indelible ink on that time.
The type of music was popular in the 90s was pop ballad, hip hop, rock, and Tex-Mex. What musicians were popular in the 90s? Luis Miguel, Maná, Alejandro Fernández, Café Tacuba, Molotov, Caifanes, Juan Gabriel. Some of the songs that were popular in that time, El Baile y El Salón of Café Tacuba, that is Then Rayando el Sol of Maná. Then Vivir sin aire of Maná. Then Vivir sin aire of Maná. That was the music of the 90s.
Talk about the fashion in the 90s. We have to define the fashion of the 90s. We could not place it on a single style. More than anything, because after the 80s, it seems that there was a parenthesis of colors and to depend the looks. Many of them were marked thanks to the diverse musical styles like the grunge that was one of the great pioneers. Of course, if we have to make a comparison with the previous decade of the 80s, we must say that the style and color was much more relaxed. Simplicity seemed to adapt to the new decade of the 90s. Although, as the saying goes, not everything that glitters is gold. Discover the fashion qualities of the 90s, the accessories of the moment and the hairstyles that marked the time. As we have anticipated, the fashion of the 90s leaves fluorescent and too showy colors behind. Although it is true that the tones are often combined, but it is done in a more relaxed way. In the same way, another of the basic aspects was the simplicity of the looks, among which we can speak of minimalist touch. Comfort was the basis of this era full of great trends that still remain in our present. The so-called supermodels appear bringing us closer to a much more versatile clothing line.
Hi, I'm Alvera and I'm going to talk about sports in the 90s. Well, in the 90s there were 2 Olympic Games and Mexico participated in both. In the Olympic Games of Barcelona in 1992, Mexico only get 1 medal and was of 2nd place in 15 kilometers. In the Olympic Games of 96, Mexico only get 1 bronze medal. Also, Mexico participated in two of the 3 World Cups that were in the 90s.
Mexico participated in the World Cup of 1990 because the Sub-20 used cachirules, so they sanctioned Mexico in that way. In the World Cup of 94, Mexico won 2 matches in the round of groups. The group of Mexico was Italy, India, Norway, and Mexico. Mexico won versus Norway and India, and versus Italy it was 1-1. So Mexico paused to the next phase and lose versus Bulgaria in penalties. In the World Cup of 1998, Mexico had 2 ties versus Belgium and Netherlands, and Mexico won 3-1 versus Korea. It was a group phase, and in the quarter Mexico lost versus Germany 2-1. Also in Mexico, in that age, there were the Mexican League. So in 1990-1991, UNAM was the champion of that league. In 1991 and 1992, León. In 1992 and 1993, Atlante. 1993 and 1994, UHG. In 1994-1995, Necaxa, and also in the next season. In 1996, Santos Laguna. In 1997, Guadalajara and Cruz Azul.
So we can see that in Mexico in that age there were a lot of sports and a lot of competitions.